Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your host, David Two Doggz Hayes.
Thank you very much, David Hensley, and welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina's only premier wrestling pay-per-view podcast. This is a work. With me, as always, my tag team partner, Chris. The Fashion Plate Barnes is right here. What's up, brother?
I'm going to ignore that gross injustice and just ask you, you sound like you've got a nice little lilt in your voice. Did something happen that was great?
You know, yeah, man, this was a damn good pay-per-view. I'm happy. I'm excited to talk about this. For once, there may be a shining light at the end of this dark tentacle-infested tunnel. And I'm thinking, you know, I think we're going to be okay, man. I think we're going to be okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's the episode.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We still have Sunday.
You're right. You're right. See that. God. See now I'm pissed off again.
Yeah. See, what would be more on brand for the WWE than to give us a great pay-per-view and then just 1 week later give us another one that's terrible?
Shit, right all over. That's what's gonna happen.
But
man.
hold on. But it is nice to come into an episode and just kind of like not like tense up right before the mics, right before we start recording.
Either that or just look at it was like, all right, Christ, let's get this over with.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even if we haven't outright said it, it's been that kind of a feeling.
Yeah. It's I was looking back and the last good one that we had was the Rumble.
Oh yeah.
And that one wasn't that it was good. It's just again, it's hard to fuck up the Rumble, and they tried.
Yeah, a lot of the better ones in between, and better is the operative word there. Just kind of ranking within my realm of optimism, and I know yours too, where it's kind of
right.
like, well, that wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's that kind of backhanded optimism.
And, you know, and the reality is, it might not have been that good.
Right.
But we've seen such bad shit for so long that this might have looked like a filet mignon to us.
It's like having your hand trapped in a vice for an hour, and then someone comes along and doesn't let you out, but they do undo the clamp a little bit.
Yeah, that's there you go. That's what it is. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're a nice fella.
And they don't say anything and just walk away.
Right. Well, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one was easily the worst match of the night. So the pre-show, and this is Apollo Crews versus MVP. You know, MVP. You know how I feel about him. He's old. He couldn't work when he was in his prime. Apollo. Yeah, I'm glad they're giving him a push. I really am, but I don't care anymore. They have ruined him. They've ruined him to the point to where it doesn't matter what he does now. As far as I'm concerned, he might as well just go ahead and join the Hurt Business. And
that's what you think they're steering towards, isn't it?
Yeah, I would kind of, honestly, I would like that to happen. And because there was a rumor going around for a little while that the Hurt Business was going to be the new Nation of Domination, which I think in these problematic times that would not have gone over well.
No, because I mean, there's no good way to say this.
Yeah, I know.
What you would have to do to make a new nation is, of course, in Vince's head, is it basically make a Black Lives Matter group.
Yeah. And you know, we've got the oh God, what are they calling themselves?
Retribution.
Retribution. I keep wanting to call them redistribution. Retribution. They got them. They're kind of looking a little Antifa-esque. So
True.
even though they've gone on record as to say, no, that's not what this is. But it really looks like it. And you're smashing windows and...
Yeah, there was particular when they reshowed the video package of Retribution. There was a particular shot of a cinder block going through a window, spray painting the walls with anti-WWE
Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely not Antifa.
Totally not. No,
totally not.
TNA, totally not Antifa.
Well, anyway, this match. Look, they've been feuding. The feud is boring. It's over the U.S. title and nobody cares about it. Although the title looks better.
I guess now it looks extremely generic. I was never a super big fan of the weird flag decal one. But it had a vibrantness to it. It had a distinctive look. This one is just very plain. The red, white, and blue they have on it is extremely muted, but not in a good way. I mean, it lacks something to me. It looks kind of unfinished, like before the TNT Championship for AEW got finished.
What was wrong with the original U.S. title? Like the original,
like how original? Which,
I'm not even going to say WCW.
Okay.
Let's go back a little further. Let's call it NWA and just tweak a couple of things.
Sure.
What would have been wrong with that? It's not like you don't own it. I mean, it's that would have been good enough.
Yeah.
We could have. This match was, bleh. It was fine, but it was slow. You could tell that Apollo is working at a lower gear because he's working with MVP, and
because we've seen him go for the cruiserweight stuff, and
he can burn through. I'm talking shit about Apollo a lot on these podcasts here as of late. He's a very talented young man. Please don't get it twisted.
I don't even take it as you talking shit about him, just what he's being put into.
Right. It's not his fault that I don't care about him. It's how they buried him, but kept him around. He's kind of like Dolph Ziggler now.
Yeah.
Good talent. But it's like they say, well, he can put somebody over. So that's what we're going to have him do for years and years and years, and then we'll wait to give him a push. The only difference between Apollo and Dolph Ziggler is Ziggler can sell, he can give what he gets, and he can cut a good promo too. That's not what we're getting from Cruz. Well, anyway, Apollo retains his U.S. title from MVP, and God willing, this should finish this feud out, but
hopefully.
Yeah. I gave this match a 2.5. It wasn't bad. It was boring. They only went like maybe 7 or 8 minutes. It wasn't anything extravagant. Moving into the real show, we start off with the Raw Women's title. Did I say that right? No. The SmackDown Women's title.
It was SmackDown because it was Bayley.
Yeah.
It was Bayley versus Asuka.
Asuka versus Bayley. The past couple of pay-per-views, I have been accused of getting too excited over a match and expressing that during the match. And that's when things go to shit. As soon as I say it, somebody does this horrible botch, whatever it may be, and then the rest of the match just starts circling the drain.
It gets too cursed.
Yeah. And so I kept my mouth shut this whole match. and they did not disappoint. Bailey, is great. Asuka looked great. Everybody's on their game.
Yeah.
What do you got, Barnes?
Oh, nothing. I just also I wanted to pipe in and say I think it was also enhanced by the Thunderdome effect that they have.
We didn't even talk about the Thunderdome.
Yeah, they just started that on SmackDown. It went into effect. Yeah, instead of what they previously been doing, which was empty arenas and then trainees and the audience.
Yeah.
They instead erected a bunch of screens and then what arena are they in?
They're God, it's not Amway, is it?
Yes, it is.
Is it Amway?
Yeah, it's the Amway Center in Florida.
The Pyramid Scheme Amway?
Yes. Wait.
It can't be. It can't be the Pyramid Scheme Amway, right?
I think it is.
You gotta be kidding. They got an arena? Man, that pyramid. Yeah, we got to Google that.
Great. Okay.
Working on it.
I'm pretty sure it's the Amway Center.
But it can't be the Amway.
I don't know. I
I
just remember mentioning it on Sunday.
Like this people.
But
it's not. That didn't come from selling cleaning products.
But since they're out of the performance center and in a big arena area, they set up at least on
on two sides at least.
The TV sides, like where the camera
the hard camera.
Yeah, where the hard camera is. They have just a bunch of rows of monitors where they have fans who have
faces
and stuff. And it looks for those who are trying to. I mean, I know there's pictures out there, but if you're trying to just visualize it, Matt, go ahead, Dave.
It is that Amway.
You gotta be kidding me! How is that?
They bought the rights to the arena, I guess.
Wow, Amway.
Yeah,
the people that sell cleaning products.
I guess.
What? You know what? Just put me out on an iceberg because I don't think I belong in this world anymore. I don't know, man. Amway's got an arena? Jeez, I bet they got a sports team too. Son of a bitch.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, God.
But anyway, if you're trying to imagine you're fine. Fine, I'm just trying to break away from this existential crisis.
Of course, it's in Florida.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't.
They're a maelstrom of weird and stupid. But yeah, trying to imagine this crowd, it has the look and reaction because I guess they for people who they let do this, they had them record reactions, various ones like when they're cheering or they're booing or they're just watching, whatever, because they loop them with different things and the way that it looks, and because it's flat, because you can see when the camera changes a little bit, you see it's just flat row of monitors. It looks like a PS1 wrestling crowd from like the Warzone game or the WCW ones.
Yeah,
where when the camera turns, you would just see the fact that it was just like a cardboard cutout that moves, basically.
Now I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I was, painfully curious. And I got on Facebook Messenger and I spoke with a few listeners that actually, subscribed to get on there. And you got to pay something.
Right.
And there's a bunch of rules. And so they gave me their account of what happened.
Yeah.
And it's not unlike what the trainees were doing.
They were given cues on
when to cheer, when to boo, when to yell things, if they yelled things. And and then they were given all these other rules that they couldn't do. Like you can't you can't do anything vulgar. If you do, you're going to lose your spot and we're going to put somebody else right there.
Yeah.
Which is why we started seeing
rotations. Yeah, they were rotating screens.
Any type of misbehavior, and they went through this whole list of things you can do, things you can't do. If you get up and leave, like if you got to go to the can, if you're gone too long, you lose your spot. They rotate you out.
Is that why someone put that Pikachu in there?
Yeah, I think so.
I saw a picture
man.
of someone where someone had put a Pikachu in their place. They must have had to leave the room for a minute.
I think so. I think that's exactly what happened.
I also think I've seen reports that some people have also started, not really graphic, but started slipping in bad things in there. Mm-hmm. I think, I can't remember if this one was fake or not, but someone might have slipped a picture of Benoit onto their screen.
I heard about that. Yeah. And it started a thing. Like a few people were behind on this, that were behind this. Mm-hmm. And so one person got taken down, put back up, and then another person popped theirs up.
Yeah.
So but back to this match.
That does make sense that people are actively watching those screens.
Yeah. And yes, they have some piped in noise.
Yeah, but I honestly, I think that helps the illusion better.
It did.
Especially than
it did for me.
Yeah. It's like especially because they're actively taking time to mine their audio for the proper type of crowd, which something I can't remember what point it happened in the show, but it was when Randy later on in their match, when Randy went to do his arms out pose or whichever one he does, there was that brief moment where the audience doesn't outright immediately boo, they just kind of cheer because he's doing the thing they know, and then they boo him because he's the heel.
Yeah.
It's like they do have a good understanding of what the crowd would probably do.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
And they're also on a delay. Mm-hmm. They also encourage you to, after you watch the pay-per-view on the screen, go watch it again. So that they, especially those with the Nielsen boxes, to get
of course.
And then they want to encourage everybody to watch Raw the same way, and SmackDown and NXT, so they can keep
That's
things.
not really going to help with the oversaturation problem, but all right. But yeah, I think in terms of solutions, until we can actually have proper crowds again, however far away that might be, that helps.
I'm good with this.
I think it helps, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think any of our matches suffered because of lack of crowd this time. And sorry to say, the main reason that some of these pay-per-views have not been very good is because lack of crowd.
Yeah.
You gotta have that. Even if it's the illusion of a crowd, it's still a crowd.
It's theatrical. It caters to a live crowd.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it was doing long before cameras were involved.
There you go. This was a fantastic match, I thought. It was a lot of fun to watch.
A lot of fun. I know people were hoping Asuka would walk out with 2 belts, but it makes sense that she didn't.
Yeah. Hensley in particular was very upset that he really wanted Bayley to do the job on this one.
It didn't really even matter to me if it was to Asuka, as long as it was to somebody.
Right.
I hate heel Bayley.
You're a never Bayley. It's hashtag never Bayley.
Yeah, I can't stand her.
It's like the phrase, I don't care if this is the hill you die on, so long as you die.
But, hate to disappoint the Hensley, but Bayley goes over after some help from her good friend Sasha Banks.
I'll go over the finish because it does factor in for later.
Right.
Because later she has her match with Sasha. And what happens at the end is Sasha, who had been kind of here and there trying to help, ends up jumping on the ringside,
the apron,
that's it, thank you. The apron to try and distract Asuka. Well, she jumps up and she gets in the way of Asuka performing her hip?
It's her butt bump.
Yeah, her butt bump, because I think she gets Bayley out of the way and she ends up taking the move, which distracts Asuka enough for Bayley to take care of her and get the win.
Yeah, I believe she got her with a small package, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Great match, good heel work, a little bit of psychology in there, not a ton, but still it was a fun match to watch. I gave this 3.5 Meltzers. Lots of fun. Next we move on to a our was it our SmackDown? No, it's Raw. Our Raw tag team title match with the challengers Angel Garza and Andrade versus the Street Profits.
I need to back up and we need to talk about that promo that Zelina gave with them.
Oh, yes, please. Go right ahead.
Just briefly, because just everything about that promo was great, but Zelina gave the interview, and she was flanked by Andrade in his all blue, I don't know what to call it. It's like some jumpsuit kind of thing.
Yeah, he's been wearing this a lot lately.
Yeah.
This is his gig. It's this gold and
no. This is Andrade. Andrade.
I'm sorry.
Andrade, who looked like he skinned the Cookie Monster.
Yeah. With this, and the coat is huge. It's this huge Shinsuke Nakamura type coat, except not as extravagant. But yeah, it's this huge coat.
Yeah, and on top of that, to further set the stage for in the looks department, is Angel Garza wearing what you were about to describe, his golden
red, I think?
Green. It was green.
Is it green?
Yeah,
okay.
It's golden because he's got his gold shirt tucked into these deep green pants.
Yeah, like it looks like what the wives wear on The Handmaid's Tale. It's it's deep green.
He was dressed like he had to go straight from wrestling to star in a telenovela. Definitely the villain.
Right.
Yeah, I'm ragging on it, but it works for them. It's very much a good.
I love it.
It's a good flashy look, and Zelina herself. Which, when they came out for this match, she had thankfully changed. She still had her outfit on, which looked nice.
Right.
But she was for this interview in this pair of I don't know how high heels,
6-7 foot high heels.
They were like somewhere between 6 to 8 inches, and she spent the whole interview shifting her weight because she. Like, if she took a step, I'm pretty sure she was going down with the ship. She came out in proper, like, boots or flats for the match, thankfully.
Yeah.
And it was weird, too, because the shoes were like an aqua blue.
Yeah, it was an odd
They didn't match
color
with her outfit.
No, it's like, why'd you even decide to put those on? What's going on there?
It looked like there is a...
She needed to be eye level with the interviewer.
That's what it was.
And as tall as those boots were, she was just eye level, just barely.
It reminds me, there was a picture someone had of, I want to say it was somewhere in Scandinavia, of this weird party gathering they had where it was called a same height party, and they had all these different types of platform shoes so that everyone who was there would put on the corresponding height platforms to match the tallest person at the party. And in that picture there was like the tallest person. There was someone with like a little bit of a lift shoe kind of lift they were wearing, and then there was someone who had like something akin to what Zelina was wearing.
This is a strange party.
It is strange. It's like a weird little gathering, but it just reminded me of that because you could tell how obvious it was how big these shoes are because they did not match her other clothes.
No.
You are truly living up to your name with the fashion plate in this episode, Chris.
There was a lot to take in, Dave. I think you may have been out smoking when that happened, but there was a lot to take in during that interview.
And there will be even more as the night rolls merrily forward.
But yeah, so I said all that just to try and imagine seeing them walk out.
It looked like boots from a Lady Gaga concert.
Why do you insist on calling her that?
I don't know. I heard somebody say it one time and it made me laugh, and I've just done it ever since. But you know what? Now, I'm going to get some heat for this, but I don't like the Street Profits anymore. I recognize the talent is there, but I'm done with these two jokers. Man, it's Private Party melted down, or vice versa. I don't know, whichever one you want to be the dominant one. I don't care. I don't like either one of them. The gimmick's boring to me. Having said that, these are two dynamic talents.
Also, Private Party has the better theme. I'm just gonna toss that out there.
Yes, they do.
I love that song.
And they've got the Velvet Rope, and Street Profits. They just got solo cups, and
well, I would say they have the smoke, but they want the smoke.
They just want the smoke.
They never seem to have it.
No.
Speaking of red solo cups, something strange happened on their way into the ring. It started raining them.
Yeah. That's some cheap ass shit. I don't know. Throw solo cups at them.
And it was the small, shot party cups.
Yeah. That's...
they did it twice, too.
That's weak, man.
It's not just weak. It's weird and wasteful.
I mean, what do you...
I'm not drinking out of that after it's hit the floor.
And there's some dude that they had in there. They made him put a damn mask on, and as soon as the bell rang, they said, "Okay, take this broom and get out there." And he had to put the mask on. It says WWE, and it's an old one, so it says Attitude.
See, I thought you were going someplace different with that, because I imagined them going up to some poor intern and being like, "We need 1,000 red solo cups." And
same guy.
Yeah, the same guy had to put on...
But this is Florida on the weekend.
The same guy had to put on his face mask and go to the nearest grocery store. And he's like, well, they don't have 1,000 regular-sized cups. You know what? I bet these little bitty shot glass-sized ones will do. These will work.
Just walked up and in that patent bit, I need all the solo cups.
Yeah. I want all the ham. That's... Oh God! Oh man! Yeah, this. Yeah, so
we make our own fun.
We do, and we haven't even started the match yet. Which, yeah, it was alright.
It was good. It was fairly high flying and athletic.
It really,
especially with Montez Ford. I know you don't like the street trials. I know you respect the hell out of what they do.
Both of them. They can go, man.
Doggz too.
I'll be honest. I don't think they're very good workers. But they are very athletic. A lot of time, I think that's probably the reason I don't care for them a lot, is because their moves are just moves to be moves.
Yeah.
The only psychology that they're really using is, okay, well, he's on the ground now, so I'm going to do a slingshot, whatever. See, at this point, people are going to start hitting me up because, hey, you washing Cornette's balls today? No, I'm not. I know where we're at. I'm just saying I like psychology in my wrestling. I do.
Doggz does not wish it was 1986.
Right. Because I would only be 11.
I'd be 3.
So, shut up. But, high flying match, fast paced. Angel Garza's my boy, man. I've always liked Andrade, but step aside, kid. We're gonna get the. We're gonna get this looker in here, and.
They're kind of teasing the breakup of the team anyway, because the ending was, Angel was doing his thing. He tossed his pants at one of the Street Profits, and then accidentally I think Montez accidentally nails Zelina. Andrade jumps down and goes to check on her, so he's not there for Angel to make the tag, and so he's taken out by the Street Profits, and they win.
But how many times are we going to do this? Because let's think about how many. Well, we've already broken up Fire and Desire with Mandy and Sonya.
Right,
that's been done. We're teasing the breakup with Bliss Cross.
Are they?
That's
unfortunate.
We're teasing the breakup with Bailey and Sasha,
which will be happening later. They'll tease it further. They've been working on that one for a while.
Where they're teasing the breakup with Andrade and Garza, and there's somebody else that I'm forgetting
And at the rate it's, we'll get there later. Never mind. But yeah, no, it was just something about Sasha and Bailey. But I'll wait until we get there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the Street Profits retain their tag team championships. I thought
more cups are thrown from the sky.
Right. The kid with the attitude shirt on and the WWE mask is just like, oh God, and just watching them fly. Says, all right, kid, go get them, and they just.
Oh man, they probably are gonna keep reusing the same.
Oh, you know they are.
They're gonna be gross.
Because and they yelled at him too, because you knew he had to go pick all those up, and he put them all into a trash can, and then he put them all into a garbage bag, and walked over to the dump, threw them in there. McMahon said, Hey, what are you doing? Were you throwing those away? Get those back. We need those for Raw. Son of a bitch. And
that was pretty good.
You're fire.
I got nothing to add. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
I would listen to at least one radio play where you do that all the time.
Okay, I'll put it in my rotation. So let's move on. Speaking of tag teams that have broken up, Fire and Desire explodes.
Oh no, not the Mega Powers.
That sounded perverted, didn't it? That sounded nasty.
All right, sure.
Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. Should we talk about it?
I mean, we can. Yeah. Just briefly.
So, most of you guys have already heard what happened to Sonya. A guy attempted to kidnap her,
invade her home, and kidnap her. Potentially, I mean, based on his he was unhinged. His social media postings when he was talking about it, basically alluded to the fact that he was probably going to kill her.
That's what was being alluded to.
Yeah.
As it turns out, the new information that came to light is that Mandy Rose was actually there.
Yeah, they were hanging out apparently.
And well, if you want to talk about Cornette.
Oh yeah, so basically, I mean, this is how close it came. When the guy invaded, he barely missed seeing Sonya when he came in to go after him. So Sonya, but luckily, since he missed her, got a hold of Mandy Rose and they left. This was at Sonya's house. This is her house.
Yeah.
And so they get out, they get away, they go to the cops, and he gets arrested.
Yeah.
So Cornette. Cornette, who decides, kayfabe above all, and I don't know. That's just maybe it's just my modern sensibility.
He said basically his first reaction was, "I'd fire him." Later on, in the conversation,
he walked it back a little later
and said, "I would have fined him."
Or they would have had some sort of punishment for hanging out.
Yeah. For
the world knowing that they were hanging out before their big match. Never mind the fact that they were at Sonya's house.
Yeah.
That's first of all, her house. It's not like they weren't out hanging out at a bar and grill catching dinner.
Right.
They were at her house.
Yeah.
They were escaping a man who was armed and trying to hurt them.
And I believe Cornette's response to that was like, why didn't Sonya drive Mandy down the road a piece, let her out, and then go to the cops? Was like, do you
that
realize,
still leaves her in the vicinity of a man who is armed?
Do you realize what just happened? I mean, okay, all right. Now let me put my 1980s hat on for a second. I understand where he's coming from. I get it. And had this been not so serious
of
an event,
This isn't Duggan in the Sheik getting busted.
Right. Had this not been so serious of an event that transpired, I might be inclined to say, yeah, you got to find those two. But look, there is currently nothing on the books that says you two have to stay away. First of all, kayfabe's dead. Everybody knows.
Second of all, if he had not tried to if he had not invaded her home, we wouldn't have known they'd hung out that week.
Right. We wouldn't have known.
They hadn't posted about it on social media. They were just hanging out.
Yeah. And yes, it's kind of an unspoken rule, but the word here is unspoken.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there. And again, they were at Sonya's house. They didn't go to the restaurant. They didn't.
That's the thing. It's like I understand separate locker rooms.
Sure.
But this is someone's fucking house.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's not like, it's not like, again, they weren't broadcasting it anywhere. They weren't live streaming. They were just hanging out.
Yeah. And Corny's main thing is you can't drop. You have to drop Mandy Rose off before you go to the cops, or you guys will be seen together. How about we both run like hell?
Yes.
And we worry about kayfabe after the guy's been arrested.
If I'm on the if I've just escaped from someone who's meant to do me bodily harm, I don't want to be on the same street as them.
Right. I mean, this is
fuck your storyline.
Yeah. And I think everybody else saw it that way too. Now, originally,
that's what gets me about Cornette. Just as an aside, it's just like we discussed this when we were watching. It's like he has rational opinions about wrestling.
He really does.
He sucks you in with those, and then he goes deep into the crazy one. It's like, okay, no, back up.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't think I have heard a rational opinion of Jim Cornette from either of you.
Because I'll watch clips on YouTube, and he'll go through, and he can be pretty reasonable.
He can, and there's things.
It's because the only
Cornette says.
It's because the only thing that makes headlines is when he goes into the crazy part.
Right. There's things that Cornette says that I agree with.
Yeah.
About wrestling. I agree that one finisher will work.
Yeah.
And after you hit your finisher, your opponent is dead. Unless it's a superhuman Brock Lesnar, Brian Cage,
sure,
whatever. Pick your guy, something like that. But yeah, and I understand you don't need 500 flips because it's a 4th of July effect. It's called fireworks. And every time you see fireworks, you go, ooh. But you only see fireworks twice a year. Now, if you see fireworks every week, then it loses its specialness. And I get it. I get
that too, but I would argue context is also important because the further south you go, the more flips are important.
That's very true, too. But yeah, I kind of liken Jim Cornette to Bill Maher.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, nobody really can decide whether they like Bill Maher or not.
Because, the problem is with Bill Maher and Jim Cornette, even when they're right, they're still dicks.
That's it right there. Chris Barnes, everybody. Yes.
Because Bill Maher said funny things that I agree with. And then there's just plenty of other things. There's like, stop being a smarmy ass. And the problem here with Cornette is I can agree on certain things in wrestling with Cornette. This went beyond things about wrestling. This was about personal safety and emergencies. And it's like business don't matter, personal safety first.
Right.
So that's the backstory to that, and that explains why this suddenly became a loser leaves WWE match
instead of a hair versus hair match, was what it was originally supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, I have not heard what's supposed to be going down later on. Who knows? But the short end of this is I was really surprised how good of a match this was.
It was, wasn't it?
I was looking. Sonya.
That's right. This match had my spot of the night.
Oh, okay. Well, by God, lay it on me, man. I'm all about it.
Okay, they set up a table like someone was going to go through a table, and at first I was surprised because they led this charge with Mandy Rose being super aggressive. Mm-hmm. She was like tearing around the ring.
Yeah, and
usually for me that kind of indicates, the person who leads that charge that early is not going to be the winner.
Right.
But I mean, just spoilers. You're listening to this podcast. She did win, but due to outside world necessitating that Sonya Deville not have wrestling dates.
Sure.
But it was a great match, and they started with Mandy and Sonya just going hard at each other,
tearing ass.
Yeah. And there was a spot where they set up a table and Mandy set up the table. So
Mandy pulls out a table from the apron.
This spot was this spot started with Mandy Rose almost fucking up, not being able to set a table up.
It was a very uncomfortable amount of time.
She tried to do like the kind of power flip that you do when you have a table on its side and you just kind of use its weight to flip it onto its, and proper right side up. Yeah. She couldn't do it, and she ended up scooting the table into the ring, and she finally just went, very simply, just set it up.
Yeah, and the problem with this is it's not that a lot of people are thinking it was like, she's not strong enough to pick it up. No, Mandy Rose is one of the stronger women in the Federation. Mm-hmm. She can pick it up. Logistically, she was too short to flip it.
To leverage it, yeah.
Like she wanted to do. And
she kept trying, and the problem was, it's just, at that point, you should have just... Yeah. She should have done it a lot sooner, just went ahead and flipped it.
You try it once, it didn't work, lay it down, turn the damn thing over. It's just...
Yeah.
But she kept at it.
So I got a little worried, but she got it set up and was like, oh, so is she going through the table? Because, traditionally you set the spot, you go through it. Mm-hmm. But no, they did something different with it, and that was they set it up like Sonya was going to go through the table. She moves. Mandy gets down to start fighting her again. She grabs a chair, and as Sonya's off the table and starting to get up, as soon as Mandy sees Sonya's head peek up from the opposite end of the table, she whips that chair across the table towards her head.
And she just barely. Yeah. It was a beautiful spot.
That is a spot that is trust between friends.
Yeah. And that's something else. If you start looking, with the exception of, maybe a couple of these matches, everybody here are tight.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the greatness of this pay-per-view, because things just kind of flowed along this whole pay-per-view, and it's a real testament to how when you've got it, when people are close, they work better.
Absolutely. As evidenced by the fact that they followed it up and did it again.
Yes.
Because, oh my God, doing it once, cool enough, they did it a second time.
It totally made up for the table match.
Yeah. And it really gets across as like Mandy's pissed. It's just...
It was, and I've never seen anybody do a spot like that before. Yeah. That's
such
new
a great,
to me.
And I love spots like that because there's such great real world moments. It's a moment where it's like, it's kind of the opposite of sometimes when you see like a wrestler in like an action movie, and of course when they fight, they're gonna be a little wrestler-ish. They're gonna be, they're gonna go to the well that they know so well. That was whoops.
Well, I'll tell you. So I thought I was thinking about that spot the other night, and I was thinking, I wonder if that was a take from AEW Dynamite.
Oh yeah,
because Sammy Guevara had what had happened was Matt Hardy was laying on the table, and he and Guevara just kind of tossed a chair. But it went, it had the same streamlined motion. Yeah. It went long ways and, caught Hardy in the head and busted him open hard way. But it had it was the same feel. The only difference was nobody was on the table, so it just kind of slid. Mm-hmm. And it was yeah, I can't talk enough about it. It was a great spot.
I love a moment when someone just has a real world kind of like, well, this is how it should go, because in wrestling world, if honestly, most people would go for the idea of like she beats Sonya down enough to get her back on the table and then put her through.
Right.
No, she's like, I'm not going to do that. I got this chair near me. Whoosh.
Yeah. Beautiful, good stuff.
I like that too. It's like, and chair shots look devastating. So does just throwing a chair at somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, man. I gave this whole match 3 Meltzers. Obviously, Mandy goes over. Sonya has to leave the WWE. There are currently no plans for Sonya as of right now. At least any that I've heard through Meltzer or any of the other dirt sheets that I check out. Or
mostly, I think they just want to give her time to work through this whole situation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it was like, they didn't say like leaving WWE forever. It's just like, she's gonna be back.
Yeah,
you know she is. Also, in the video package build up to this, she came out in one of the sharpest looking suits I have ever seen.
Yeah, and
This
she's
purple
wearing
and black
those
number.
a lot.
Yeah.
Lately. Yeah, she looks good in them. Well, then after that, apparently, so Mandy Rose has this botch with her table. After she gets the win. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
Otis runs down with the money from the roof belt,
Right.
or the money from the briefcase. And he is happier than a pig in shit, and he comes in doing the caterpillar.
Yeah, he does.
And and celebrates a little, and then he wants her to do the caterpillar.
Mandy does the daintiest caterpillar I've ever seen.
And
the worm.
Yeah, she can't do the caterpillar, and she's
Well, no, I think, like I said that night, I think it fit her character that she just was very slow and practiced with it. She wasn't as, crazy and careless as Otis is.
well, that was the thing. She hadn't practiced it. And she tried.
Oh, she was trying.
She was trying to do
Oh.
it properly.
Well, yeah, that takes work. If she didn't have time to do it, or she didn't
And-
practice it.
Not only that, she got hurt doing it.
Oh, no. Out of everything that happened in that match?
Yes. She got injured doing the goddamn caterpillar.
Oh, no.
Figure that one out. Now I don't know how hurt she is.
I'm guessing it was just, on top of doing the match and then trying to do that. Like,
Yeah.
something happened, like a muscle, something happened with one of her muscles or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd have to guess. I can see that.
But yeah, so I gave this match a solid 3. Fun match.
Absolutely.
Now let's get into what we came here to see. We have the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, versus the young and up and coming Dominic Mysterio, wearing his little blue.
That hood's coming on. You know that hood's... apparently,
The hood's stuck on there.
Apparently, I found out later, that was a tribute to something he wore, that Mysterio wore in a match against Eddie Guerrero in like...
Oh, is that what that
back,
was?
Way back in like the earlier WWE run, when like they were... and that actually Seth Rollins' outfit tights that night were also a tribute to Ray.
Oh, right on.
I would have to. It's like I can't help but agree with that, because they were what I called a magenta nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was pretty crazy to watch. This match, I think it was easily the match of the night.
I think so.
It led with the story. This is the story that everybody wanted to see.
And it told that story in the ring very well.
Yeah, and also it proves my point. You have a asshole versus a family. Mm-hmm. That's it, man. That's your story. People are riveted. You don't need anything. You don't need to puncture somebody's god.
Give Ray his eye back.
Give him his hashtag. Give Ray his eye back. Hashtag not my eye.
Just have him pull a Thor. It's just fine.
Yeah,
He gets an eye transplant. Boobity boobity, it's back.
yeah, we can do that. It's he got it from Will Smith. You ever seen that movie?
No.
It's Pound of Flesh or whatever
What?
it's called.
Oh, no, I definitely didn't.
Hey,
7 pounds.
7 pounds.
Nope.
Yeah, there you go.
This is becoming more unfamiliar to me the more specific you get.
So yeah, this this whole pay-per-view, looking at it, it's starting to look more and more like Extreme Rules than SummerSlam.
Yeah, kind of. It's like someone demanded a soft do-over and they did it right.
Yeah. And it was an exciting pay-per-view. Every match almost, barring Garza and Street Profits, was no DQ. Mm-hmm. And this one, same thing. No DQ. Bring what you want to the ring.
Yeah, and then on Dominic's side, he had his mom, and he had Ray there, and Ray, and he was like he was telling his dad, "Don't interfere. I want to do this on my own." The lead up to it being the vicious caning he got. Ooh. Like it was Dreamer-esque.
Now, guys, for those of you that did not watch Raw when that caning happened, it got uncomfortable to watch because they didn't stop. It went on 5-6 minutes. I mean, it was very uncomfortable to watch.
We saw the edited for the video package version. It was still very hard to watch.
Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna say it was uncomfortable as the Mankind chair shots with The Rock. But it was still very disturbing.
But they went hard, and they because when you're a second gen like Dominic, you got to prove yourself that much harder.
Right.
Your dad's a legend. You got to step up.
Yeah. And I'm pulling for the kid. I wanted him to do a good job.
You know what they should make? They should make a Kane Dominic shirt.
I'd pay to see. Yeah. I'd buy that shirt. Yeah, maybe we can do it. Add that to the list, Hensley.
That was before it went down. Barbershop Window. They had a Kane Dewey shirt.
Oh Yeah. So this match, it ranged all over. He goes back at one point. Seth goes back to the kendo stick, and started whooping up on him again, and then Dominic grabs the cane. He starts giving it back to
Dominic performed very well in this match.
He really did.
And I knew he was there with people who would definitely take care of him.
And you could tell.
Yeah.
Everybody there wanted him to do. And there were. I'm being nice, and I'm going to continue to be nice. I'm not going to shit on this too much. But everybody waited patiently for Dominic. You could see it if you go back, and I went back and watched it another time. And you can watch them, and they're being very patient with him. And had this been anybody else, people would have been pissed. But
for the most part, he wasn't slow.
He wasn't that slow.
He wasn't that slow.
You could tell I would say right now Dominic is on par with most of your lower card talent on the indie circuit, if there was an indie circuit right now. But I thought they did really, really well. They ended up going for that damn eyeball spot again. Jesus, which only pissed me off temporarily, but we got through it.
I think the only thing this was missing was they teased Ray's mom. I mean, not Ray's mom, Dominic's mom getting involved.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that.
They teased Seth going after her.
Yeah.
I thought for sure she was going to come down to the ring.
We thought
Plus,
about we talked about
that
it.
would have been the loophole. You know, Ray promised not to interfere.
Mm-hmm. But Madre,
Yeah,
she comes down. We even talked about it that night. She comes. She takes the shoe off, and she comes
that's what
down.
Katie wanted.
and gives Rollins the what for, and
yeah, I can't remember.
chases Murphy to the back.
Yeah, it ended up Ray gets handcuffed to the ropes, which works better than
tying him
than rubbing a rope to the ring ropes and hoping it stays.
Oh God, that's why are we even bringing that up?
Because it's funny. But yeah, he gets handcuffed and he has to watch as Seth finally overtakes Dominic and just puts a hurt on him.
Yeah, and Seth ends up going over on this match, rightfully so.
Yep.
We all wanted Dominic to win, but
That's the thing. That's what you're supposed to want. That's what you're supposed to want.
Honestly, I was very pleased with what I saw with Dominic. He's still got to get in the gym. He's got to train some more. But I was very impressed with him. Right now, he's in there with some of the best wrestlers in the world.
Absolutely.
So, all he can do is get better. Hey, I'm rooting for you, kid. Good luck to you, man. I gave this match a 4.5 Meltzer.
Absolutely. All the parts came together very well.
Yeah, it was fun match. I loved every second of this, and I'm also glad this feud is over. This was the way to go out. This is the way to finish it. I think they're going to let it taper off one more time. I think we're probably going to continue this into Payback, but that's going to solidify it. And good, because this thing's been going on too long.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Asuka's second title match. Asuka challenging for the SmackDown Women's title.
No, this is the Raw. Sasha had the red belt.
No, Sasha is... Shit, you're right. You're right. This is the Raw.
Bayley blue belt, Sasha red belt.
Right. Yeah. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's... whatever. It's the legit botch. Sasha
It was the one that's a primary color.
Yeah. Asuka versus Sasha.
I gotta say, I know you said she was wearing some of her older ring gear again.
It was, yeah.
It was. I missed the tracksuit. I liked the tracksuit she wore earlier. Was honestly my favorite thing I've seen her wear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just really worked for her.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hate the old school.
No.
It was fun to watch. And I don't say a lot of good things about Sasha. Not half bad. There you go. You're welcome. That's my nice thing.
I will point out the Dominic Seth Rollins match did start. This happened, I think, during this match and at least one other, where frog splashes started coming into play. In the evening.
My God! What is
Dominic did it?
Are you getting subsidy money for frog splashes now? What's going on here?
Now, it made sense in the Dominic Rollins match because, of course, that's
Eddie.
That's a throwback to Eddie.
Well, see, they can't do a tribute to Eddie too. I mean,
I don't know why they just everyone decided after that point we need a frog splash.
Yeah, we love Eddie more than you. I don't know what's going on, but Sasha went for that frog splash like 4 times.
Yeah, and I know the last one got reversed, but
yeah, it's there's a lot going on there. But you know what? No, this also was a good match. Mm-hmm. If there were any botches, I didn't catch them.
Right.
Granted, the second time I watched this. I wasn't really watching it, but
Good pacing though.
It was good pacing. It was a fun match. Bailey on the outside.
Yeah.
Bailey's funny.
Yeah.
We come to the go home on this.
Yeah.
And we're
the reason I detailed the ending before is it factors in here.
because we attempted the same spot.
Yeah.
Reversed, only with Bailey on the outside.
Right.
But Bailey powders.
Yeah. Bailey when it comes.
Sorry.
Sorry, just holding. But when Bailey comes, Bailey was supposed to take the hit like Sasha did. She moved, and now to her credit, she was gonna try and attack Asuka, but Asuka got her first, and then that led to them trading submissions until Asuka finally had her down, and Sasha had to tap.
Yeah, and that's why we can say hashtag and new whatever women's champion.
It's Raw.
Asuka. Yeah, that's the thing with Sasha and Bailey holding both belts.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with who's holding what anymore because they would hold each other's belts.
Yes,
and I don't know.
And something I didn't notice till SummerSlam. The tag titles had each of their had a side plate, because now what they do with the titles is they give personalized side plates to the champion.
Right.
It had each of their side plates on it on each title.
So yeah, the one says Bailey, the other one says boss.
Yeah.
And then you give them the other one. The other one says Bailey, and the other one says boss. So there it is. So now Asuka is the new women's champion for Raw.
And of course, they're again teasing even deeper the Bailey-Sasha breakup.
Right.
Because Bailey had that look on her face, not so much of concern, but it's like, great, now I got to hear her whine about this all night.
Yeah, and they already started. They did a little backstage thing, and with them is kind of arguing, and then that spilled over into Monday Night Raw a little bit, and they're just going to keep, when it actually happens, I think they're going to wait till WrestleMania.
I'm betting.
I'm
betting
to have the
or no, it may happen at the Rumble, so they can build for WrestleMania for a match.
There you go.
And I think between the two of them, I'm betting Sasha turns face.
Yeah,
if she's doing throwbacks to her earlier gear and stuff like that,
because Bailey is just a high level of annoying. And
she's finally getting into it.
She's getting into it, and it is working because
Dave hates it so much.
You know what she's not getting into?
What?
Acting lessons.
Knock, knock, who's there? No time for acting. Ha, ha, ha. Aren't I entertaining? It's
That sounds like
role
something
model.
she'd say.
Yeah, that's why I did it. Yeah, that's her thing now. Knock, knock, who's there? Don't have time. Ha ha. Absurd laughter.
Yeah, Bailey's character is basically that woman who you don't like in your neighborhood, but now she's wine drunk at a party, and she won't. And she gets louder the drunker she is.
She is Aunt Bailey in every way, shape, and form. I guess now she would be Aunt Karen.
Kind of,
yeah. Yeah, I gave this 3 Meltzers. This was fun. I enjoyed. Good ending. Teasing the breakup, moving forward with the story. I loved it.
Asuka's showing off a lot of power in the matches.
Lot, yeah.
I loved her energy. We joked about it when it popped up, but actually, thinking about it now, it was kind of a spoiler. The fact that they had a couple other matches sponsored by things, but this one was sponsored by Ishii's Cup of Noodles.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like it took me a minute to realize, because I saw a picture of her wearing a Cup of Noodles shirt on Twitter. It's like that's kind of a spoiler. It's like that's a Japanese company.
Yeah,
they're sponsoring a match. They wouldn't sponsor a match where the Japanese wrestler loses.
And somebody else. So apparently that's a meme now. So other people caught that, and they put up memes about it. So that's a thing now.
But yeah, it was like well, I joked about it. It was like, well, of course you had Cup of Noodles sponsor this match, and then it made more sense. Like they didn't sponsor the first one where she lost. And I was like, no, they want the because this is going to be in Japan, of course. So they want the one where she's winning.
Boom.
Yeah,
and there you go. Now. Moving on into our semi-main, we have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I really, really dug this match. This was, you could tell that Orton wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to put Drew over.
Absolutely.
And he did. This was this was another knockdown drag out. It was a great match. The only thing that we didn't really get a huge display of McIntyre's power, which usually on Raw he loves to show that off. Not so much here. We had a specific match that we were sticking to, and a particular story that we wanted to tell, and that's what they told, and they left everything else alone, which was, I mean, it didn't take away from it.
I think that might have been the point of the match, where it's like, you can't power your way through this one. You've got to be smarter than Orton,
which was something else.
You've got to outthink him.
Mm-hmm. And he had already said something to the tune of, "I've already beat you with a wrestling move," and some other things. So and so this match, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a clinic by any shade of the imagination, but these boys, they went for it. And it was great. The go home on this was a freaking backslide.
Yes,
of
it was.
All things, a backslide. Now, a lot of people, the interweb was screaming bullshit. Some of them were.
But I never understand for a moment like this, where the whole point was Randy's more cunning than Drew. Mm-hmm. He's outthought him. He can outmaneuver him. Mm-hmm. But that's the irony. He catches him with a basic backslide and gets the win.
Never saw that coming.
Never saw it coming. That was the whole... They've started doing catch titles for these pay-per-views. You'll never see it coming.
Yeah.
You think it's referring to the RKO? No, he catches him with a backslide.
That's right. This finisher is a running eye poke. That's what you didn't see it coming.
Well, you don't see it coming for long.
Yeah.
And I said after the match, well, of course he couldn't win with the Claymore. You see it coming.
Yeah. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. He even counts down with it.
Yeah, of course. And Randy heard that.
Yeah. He's like, nah, come on. I'm waiting for this RKO.
I know what that countdown means. It's like even if you're hurting on the floor, it's like you can still hear the 3, 2, 1. It's like, okay, he's going to go for it.
Drew obviously retains, and this is going to bleed over into Payback, I believe. And which brings us to our main event. Was a little bit worried about this, but I was pleasantly surprised. Braun Strowman versus the Fiend. Well, I shouldn't say I was pleasantly surprised, but I was surprised. I didn't see it coming. Braun Strowman versus the Fiend for the Universal title.
Right.
Good match. Mm-hmm. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Braun's being Braun, but he's being... I don't want to say he's being heel Braun, but he's being heel Braun.
They're hyping the fact that everyone that the Fiend gets a hold of changes.
Yeah.
So he's kind of reverted back to his more original. He is a giant monster man because he's been. He's more back to the Braun who pitched a hissy fit and destroyed the Raw set when he didn't get his way that one time.
Yeah. Everybody that encounters the Fiend gets a hairstyle change.
Kind of, yeah.
So, and that's how you know they're heel. They shave their head.
Is the Fiend some sort of heel barber?
Yeah, that's exactly. He's going to take the mask off. It's going to be Brutus. You know it is. That's strutting and cutting, man. I love Brutus Beefcake.
It's a concept that is just it's a concept that's just weird, and I like that. I love that kind of weird.
Look, it's Jason Finger and Mike Payne up in Lincolnton give me so much heat because I like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You know what? Fight me. I love that gimmick. I loved it. I loved it when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, that's Bruta. That's the barber, man. He puts them to sleep, cuts their hair. What do you want?
It's just a different variation on the $1 Million Man stuffing money in a jobber's mouth when he gets beat.
That's it, man. Then
they have to spit that money back out when they get backstage and hand it back to Vince.
Came out with hedge clippers, man. It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Sure,
loved it.
It makes no sense, but that's the kind of thing I like about wrestling. Yeah. Sure, no, that's the side of his personality he's chosen to display. All right.
Yeah, the Fiend is no selling like he's supposed to.
Yep.
Braun's being heel Braun. Things are going along smoothly. We didn't see Alexa.
We did not.
And I was a little disappointed in that. I was hoping that Alexa was going to come out, and apparently Alexa thought that she was going to have something to do in this match too.
Yeah.
But I think it was overshadowed by the go home.
Yeah, they probably cut it in favor of what happened
because they didn't want to oversaturate the match.
Yeah,
because there was a lot happening there.
No, you say that the Fiend was no selling like he was supposed to, but what was that? What was it that put him down for a few seconds and had all of us like, holy shit?
Oh my God! Wait a minute.
I don't remember.
Something Braun did put him down on the ground and left us all worried for the Fiend.
Yeah, there was something, and I forgot. Oh my God! I can't remember.
It was he landed on the announce table in the middle of his back.
Right, that happened kind of early on too, didn't it?
Oh, that's right, because
he hit it wrong.
He hit it wrong. That he was supposed to take it and go through that table.
I think he was. Anyway.
Yeah, it looked like it because it looks like he hit it too low and it just hit his back.
Yeah, it just hit
went
the
down
middle of the back and it just caught him wrong. And
he went down, and you could tell because the ref ran over to him. The ref ran over to him, check on him.
Yeah.
It's not something you normally do when there's the Fiend, but and Braun had to kind of vamp for a few seconds so that but to Bray's credit, he got to his feet pretty quick.
He did. It was slow.
Yeah.
And he moved a little bit slower the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hensley, for that.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was moving a little bit slower after that, but he soldiered on. He kept going. So the match goes on. Fiend ends up with the go home by hitting the Sister Abigail, and kind of shocked all of us when he got the 3 count on it. We're like, "Whoa,
yeah,
holy shit! That happened." Okay, I mean, and I can't say that I'm in love with the idea, but I can't say that, I hate the idea either. Mm-hmm. But now I can honestly say, because I've got a spoiler for Payback.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, now I can say that I'm not happy with it because he hits the 3 count. Braun rolls out. Well, in comes the big dog himself.
The spoiler himself.
Yes. And he does something that Bray is really getting used to, taking the spear. Takes the spear and he beats the hell out of the Fiend, And then he goes, "Bleh," and then
Well, he talks about how that's his title and something,
Yeah.
something. I don't think he used the phrase, "This is my yard," but it was somewhere. It was implied.
yeah, it was. We got the point. And then he goes outside and he spears Braun. And or did he give Braun the Superman punch? I think it was a spear.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. Being. So that's the thing, and that's where I'm left very
His
confused.
shirt was very apt. Arrive, wreck everything, and leave.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah, we didn't need the shirt to tell you that. Now, I kind of got the idea that he was being a little heelish.
Definitely. No one involved in this is a good guy.
Yeah, so now we've got a fiend,
Yeah.
we've got a monster, and we've got a big dog,
If
and
anything,
none of
the
them are nice.
If anything, the Fiend is the least blameless because he's just a force.
Right. So it's
Braun is making a conscious choice, and Roman's being a dick.
yeah. Yeah, so all in all, I mean, this was a good match.
Yeah.
And I'm not crazy about the aftermath
Right.
because I know what's going to happen. The Fiend is going to, I think, do the job for Roman
Either that.
next week.
No, I think, I mean, this is a way to get to transition the belt to Roman without having to diminish the Fiend again.
Yeah, and they've already set up a triple threat for it.
This Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday, which means next week we'll be talking about this. And,
Actually, they've got a total of 4 matches announced so
well,
far.
lay it on me. What do we got? What do we got?
Well, yeah, so they've got the triple threat, no holds barred triple threat, which I don't know what that means versus no DQ at this point.
Because it never.
They just basically run it as no DQ.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, but triple threat for the Universal Championship. Mm-hmm. They got Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley
God damn it!
for the U.S. title. Bayley and Sasha are taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the tag titles.
Oh, for the love of God! Why? Because this is something we wanted to see.
And this one should be this one should lift your spirits a little bit. Keith Lee versus Randy Orton,
Oh, that's right.
just for a straight up singles match.
Yeah, because Keith Lee lost by DQ to Orton the other night. Mm-hmm. So yeah, or was it? Yeah, it was something. Yeah, that's what it was.
It would have been Raw because we haven't had SmackDown yet.
Right. So yeah, that's 3.5 Meltzers for Braun versus Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Fiend goes over, new Universal Champion, but for how long? How long? Overall, this was a great pay-per-view.
It was a fun show. It was a good show.
It really was. Everything just kind of flowed very nicely.
And anything that that stood out as a flaw to me wasn't a major flaw. It wasn't like something that just left me angry.
Right. Right.
It was like more like, that wasn't so great, but this thing was great.
Yeah. Overall, I gave this a 3.5 Meltzer for the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Which is the only time that I've done that this year is AEW Revolution and the Rumble.
There you go.
So there you go. Well, let's get into the fun stuff here. Barnes, Mr. Fashion Plate.
Oh, right.
What do you have for best dressed of the night?
Best dressed. Give me a second. I'm mentally rerunning my
Absolutely.
options down.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you mine.
Go ahead.
Mine was Zelina Vega all the way.
She looked great once she got into regular shoes.
Boy, did she ever. Yowie wowie.
I will. Jeez. It's honestly. I don't know. I don't know if I have a best. Nothing really stood out as great. Asuka. I'll go with Asuka. Asuka's outfit is always a hodgepodge, but it's a great looking hodgepodge.
Now, was this the first time we saw Asuka or the second time? Because it did change.
It did change up slightly. Mm-hmm. But so it's a tie. Asuka and Asuka.
All right. What do you got for worst dress?
Oh, worst. I joked about Seth's outfit, but it was fun. It wasn't. I was making fun of it, but it wasn't a bad outfit at all. Honestly, Murphy did not look great. It's this. We talked about it during the show. It's the sleeves, man.
Yeah, I don't like the sleeves either.
His outfit looks pretty well put together, but it's mostly black and white, which makes sense considering the gimmick.
With the umpire pads, for some weird reason.
But he's got gold sleeves on his shirt.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't.
It's like a baseball ringer, but the sleeves don't look okay.
Right on. See, now my worst would have what was 100%. Dominic's hood. I hated. God, it was bothered me the whole match.
I don't think he'll wear that again.
He already did.
He did. Well, he just needs to take the hood off it.
Just rip it off. Just rip it off.
Take the hood off.
It
served no practical purpose, and every time he bent down to do certain moves, it fell over his head, and he immediately went. It's like took it off.
It's like you see this on the indie circuit with wrestlers when they have a little baby beer gut, and they're wearing a T-shirt when they wrestle, and then they'll take a bump and you get a little whoop, and they'll just lay there for a second, and then you see them laying there selling, but then they adjust their shirt back. It takes it out for me. It takes me out of the moment.
Sonya was doing Kane level adjustments to her bottoms. To her tights. That too. I wish it was on par with seeing Kane laying on the ground in the match, and you see his hand go over to his glove and pull it back. That was something I always noticed during the Attitude Era. It's just one of those things that just always caught my attention.
Which Undertaker used to do that a lot as well, but he always did it. He didn't have to sell, so he just could do that while he's moving forward.
But Kane was like, I don't think anyone's watching. There we go.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Hensley, what do you have for best performance?
And why is it Bailey?
Don't get ahead of me. For best performance, I'm actually going to go with Seth Rollins.
Nice. Yes.
Right on. That's a new one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the story. Such as it was that we got with him and Dominic.
Yeah.
I can see he was very much the driving force of that thing.
Yeah. And Dominic didn't really have a lot of acting to do.
Right.
His role was very clear, whereas Seth had to be the one to continuously remind the audience that he was the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right on. Very right. Wow, that's a good one. What do you have for worst performance?
To the surprise of no one, and I'm a little bit afraid that at some point somebody's going to accuse me of being sexist because of this, but it's Bailey.
You know what? I get it, man. You don't like women. I understand.
There it is.
I know what's in your heart.
Both during her match with Asuka and then all of her bullshit that she had to try to do during her Asuka's match with Sasha, she just should not act. You are a fine wrestler. You're a great wrestler. Mm-hmm. But the second she tries to put on a performance, I can't stand it. I can't stand Aunt Bailey.
And the only thing that I think it is I don't think Bailey knows how to be a heel. Mm-hmm. The only route that she can really go is she can be annoying. I really think that's the only thing.
She can't be threatening.
Because she's such a good face that, people want to love this.
Oh yeah,
girl.
no, every time she's like this, it just makes me think like, why are you trying so hard to make me hate you? I was like,
right, yeah. Well, yeah. So the 3.5 for the whole thing.
Solid B+. Good job, WWE.
Yeah. Very, very good. Everybody did great. I gotta say, I think the Thunderdome. It's a ridiculous name.
Except, you call it Thunderdome, but 2 wrestlers enter and 2 wrestlers leave, so I don't know what's happening here.
I don't know about the name, but it enhanced it for me. I really enjoyed it. I did watch Raw with the Thunderdome. Raw's Raw, but you know what? Let's go to one more thing before we go ahead and take it to the house. I'm going to give you a real quick. Should I give the top 10 now, or should I wait till we get through all of this? Because we've got
it's true. Payback is coming.
We got Payback next week, and then after that we have the AEW the week after.
I was just about to point out that we've got another busy week ahead of us next week.
Oh
yeah.
Because so we just released the Takeover 30 episode of This Is a Takeover with Shelby Ray and Gina Belmont.
I haven't got to hear it yet. I'm excited to.
Looking forward to it,
yeah, if you had heard it, I'd be worried. I published it right before you guys got here.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then this is going to be coming out. And so next week, for Long Walk Talks, we're going to be doing the Kill Bill double feature episode.
That's right, yeah.
And
Fun.
we're going to be discussing the WWE Backlash.
Payback, is it?
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Payback.
It's payback for enjoying this one.
Payback-lash. And then I think the next week is AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week will be, AEW. That'll be a Saturday.
Yeah,
Time is a very fluid construct right now.
It is. A lot of wrestling-related content coming out soon.
And I think there's something else coming out too, isn't there? There's a something happening.
You're talking to the wrong person.
I'll Google it later. We'll just say there's a lot happening between now and mid-September, and we're going to be in the thick of it. So yeah,
that sounds like a threat, and it probably is.
Well, that's all I've got. Chris, you got anything?
No.
Right on.
Well, Doggz, if people want to harass you online, how can they do that?
You know, I'm still a little bit afraid to open up Facebook, even though I did talk to a couple of people this past week. So let's just keep it with Instagram for right now until everybody calms down. So you can get me at This Is a Work Podcast on Instagram. And I am also TikTok famous. So you can, I've got a TikTok. And I'll
allow this only if you just keep saying it like that every time.
That's the only way I know how to say TikTok is TikTok. I'm really starting to enjoy it. Although I don't really post anything except when I advertise that our podcasts are going up, which I'll be doing here in probably the next few minutes. So, yeah. But that's also at Just Two Dogs. This Is a Work. That's what it is. And yeah, we're gonna lay off Facebook for a little while, but
that's probably for the best.
Yeah,
Chris, how about you? Where can people harass you online?
Well, I'm starting to think people don't want to talk to me, but they can catch me on Twitter, the place of rational arguments and polite discussion.
Always,
yes. Chris the OK.
Very nice. And if you want to follow the podcast on Twitter, you can do that by following our channel, Long Walk Podcast. So on Twitter, you can follow us at Long Walk Podcast, no S. And if you just want to follow me personally, you can do that on Instagram at DB Hensley.
Right. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, for David Hensley and Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes, this is David Two Dogs Hayes saying, guys, if you got out of bed today and you had a job to go to and somebody that cares about you when you get home, guys, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you for listening.
We got a botch.
Shut up. Thank you for listening to This Is a Work.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this show or any of our sister shows, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Thank you.
I don't like you.